morning. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Carrie Linklater. I'm your chairperson today. I'm joined on the panel to my immediate left, Mr. Richard Whitbread, and my far left, Mr. Robert Buss. Our city assessor today is Doug Strachan, and our administrative secretary is Ellen Rojo. We will begin hearing applications for a revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that applicants or the assessor make at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the board. The board is appointed by City Council annually and is independent of it and the city administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with your order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Once all the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the order by registered mail as soon as possible. And as information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. And if I could ask that everybody have their phones turned off, please. And we're going to begin with 29 Cares Lake Drive.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Morning.
Please state your full name.
Extracting.
And you swear to be able to represent the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Thank you. You have the option to swear on the Bible or to affirm.
I'll swear.
Okay. Please state your full name.
Zachary Ian Garber.
And you swear to be able to represent the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Do you have any evidence for the panel?
I do.
Sure. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Strachan.
Morning.
And you could also read out the phone number.
Okay.
Thank you.
1-000-406-3200-29 Curse Lake Drive. Just a bit of history on it. Second page, the 2018 assessment was appealed. And the following page is the Board of Revision order. The assessor had attempted to maintain the assessment. The board made that decision to reduce the 2018 assessment. You'll see the board order, $725,000, and details. The decision is based on the applicant's evidence. So the information that was supplied at last year's hearing for the 2018 roll, I'm supplying exactly the same information today for the 2019 roll. I can go through it if you like.
Yeah.
Okay. Curse Lake, a South Tuxedo property, 2-story, built in '92, just under 3,100 square feet. It's got a full part basement. There's basement development, 4 washrooms. Central air, fireplace, attached garage. 17,000 square foot lot, and it's on one of the retention ponds in the neighborhood. All the comparables are in South Tuxedo as well, 2 others on Kerrs Lake, neither of them are on the retention. All 4 of them, 2 stories, built very close to the subject property, 1989 up to 93, square footage, 2,900 up to 3,300 square feet. Similar features, basement, finish, 3 or 4 washrooms, central air, fireplaces, attached garages, and you'll see 2 comparable 1 and 4 do have in-ground pools. Lot sizes, 9,200 up to 14,000 square feet. Comparable 3 is also on our retention. Time adjusted sale prices, 930,000 up to 1.2 million. And you'll see the sale dates. So I'm asking that the 2019 assessment of 725,000, the number that the board made last year, decided on last year, be maintained. And currently there's a pending municipal board appeal, 17A10474, pending. It hasn't been docketed as of yet. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions of the assessor?
I do. Sir, you're aware, you haven't been through the house yourself,
I haven't been that lucky, no.
but you're aware of the fact that Mr. Bourne has been through the house and Ms. Sharp has been through the house.
Yes.
Do you have a notation on your file that both Mr. Bourne and Ms. Sharp have, I'll just start with Ms. Sharp. Ms. Sharp stated at the last hearing that the house is in a very poor state of repair. Do you have the note?
I read the notes back in the office. I don't have the notes here.
You don't remember her saying that it's in a very?
Yes, I spoke to her
Okay.
Tuesday,
All
I
right.
believe.
Between the assessment of 2016 and the assessment we're working on now, what rate does the city say properties have risen over the course of that period of time? Do you know that offhand?
There's a wide range
It used
from,
to be
depending on parts of the city, depending on bungalows, 2 stories, 4-level splits. It's an average that's about the size. Every type of property is different.
But the city isn't taking the position that between the last assessment and this assessment, the price of the property has increased. They're not taking that position.
The 2016
Right.
assessment,
No, the last time, the 18 assessment.
it's still based on April 1st, 2016.
Okay, all right. But the properties haven't gone up since then, property values.
Yeah, that, not in all areas of the city. It will be taken into consideration for the 2020
Okay.
reassessment, not, we're still in the 2019 assessment roll right now, not the 2020.
Thank you. Those are my questions.
Thank you. Mr. Buss?
No questions.
Mr. Lefebvre?
No questions.
So, Mr. Strachan, you haven't gone through this property yourself?
I have,
No. But Jeff Bourne and Tanya have?
yes.
Okay. Do you know when?
I
That in
believe
your notes?
Daniel was last year. I
Last year.
believe, and Jeff is retired. I can't tell you, sorry.
And you have nothing else in your notes in terms,
I'm supplying the information that the board made their decision on last year. And just pointed out there is a pending appeal. municipal
right,
court.
municipal court? Okay, good. Thank you. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Presentation.
It's sort of an uncomfortable position to be here and argue against the order of the board. Last time, before the municipal board makes a decision on this particular matter, but I'll start by framing my application this way. When I was here in 2016, the city assessed the property at $753, and they agreed that the property assessment should be lowered to $601. There has been no work done to that house since that time. The house has some horrible structural problems. About a week after I bought the house in 1996, it had a good rain, and it rained inside the house. Came to the determination that the commercial steel roof, which would cost about $100,000 to replace, wasn't installed properly. One of the 2 licensed installers in the province was not one of the people who installed the roof. I found out because the windows leak when it rains. The windows are all rotten. Another $100,000 to fix those. They were subject to 8 separate claims with loan windows over the period of time between the house was built and 2.5 years later when I bought it. None of that was disclosed at the time of purchase. Loan windows determined that the windows take in water because the roof leaks. They don't take in water from the outside. The water builds up on the roof, it seeps down the walls, comes in through the windows. So the windows are all rotten. When it rains, I get water inside the house, and the ceilings leak because of that, and I've provided you with all that information. I can look at the comparables that have been provided, and some of these houses I actually know firsthand. Not every house in Tuxedo is kept up to the max. And I'll tell you, my plan is when my kids are out of school next year, I'm gonna put that house up for sale. Somebody can go through it and determine, I'm not gonna hide anything from anybody the way the people who sold the house to me hid all the defects. I'm not gonna do that. They'll make me whatever offer they make, and I will get out of that house. But it's pointless to take it apart and fix it. Someone down the road, on the corner of Taylor and Holland, bought a house last year, beautiful house, decided to put a new kitchen in it, pulled out the old kitchen, found black mold. There's been a tarp over that house for the past year, and the house is basically being rebuilt from the stud. So my house is in a horrible state of repair, and I'm not putting any more money into it, and it's been that way for a long time. I did repair the roof once. I had it sealed. It worked for a few years. The pitch on it is wrong, and the whole thing would have to come off to try to fix that. But I'm worried about the water damage behind the walls, because water has gotten in behind the walls and the stucco falls off. So the windows are all rotten, the stucco has fallen off. When Ms. Sharp was there last year, she took pictures of all of that, lots of pictures. But and those some of them were put before the board. I'll just deal with 23 Dumbarton to start with. 23 Dumbarton was a complete renovation from top to bottom. And I guess that the fellow who lived there, he decided after he renovated the house that it wasn't big enough for him, so he bought a house for $4.5 million at 550 Park Boulevard. But I walk my dog past that house every day. They did a beautiful job on that house. Everything was new in that house, and I went in it before it was sold. Number 4 Kerslake is a house on the corner. It was a private sale, and everything in that house had been redone from top to bottom. New everything. And I knew the people personally. 7 Burnley, everything was redone on that particular house. It's right next door to my son's friend. I went through an open house, that house. New kitchen, new floors. It was just beautifully done. Mine is nothing like that. And I've left 32 Kerslake because that's the best example. 32 Kerslake is directly across the street from my house, and the fellow who lived there did nothing to that house over the period of time that he lived there, and he and I were personal friends. He sold that house in 2013 to I'll just use the vernacular, a flipper, for $515,000. And I've provided you with a copy of the sales book in relation to that. And that fellow redid that house from top to bottom. New kitchen, new bathrooms, new floors, new drywall. The only thing he didn't do was the roof. New pool liner. I haven't included it, but I'm just going to read you a copy of the listing 1 year later when he finished that particular house. Extensively renovated, 2,950 square foot home situated on a very prime street. Gorgeous hand-scraped oak hardwood floors throughout. He put those in. Elegant curved staircase. He put in a new set of stairs. French doors leading to the main den with built-in bookshelves. He did all that. That wasn't there before. Chef's dream kitchen, new in 2014, with beautiful cabinets, oversized island, gorgeous granite, stackhouse backsplash, and stainless steel appliances. My house doesn't have any of those things. So this fellow bought the house. It was run down like mine, although it didn't leak inside, for $515,000, and he turned around and put a bunch of work into it and sold it exactly 1 year later, July 14th, for $897,000. So that isn't a comparable to my house, because all of those houses have been redone. I found a couple of houses that are close in age to mine. The first one is 22 Billingham Place. It's a 3,451 square foot house, and it has all the same things that mine does. It sold January 1st, 15 for $700,000. That came out to $208 a square foot when you adjust it for the time frame. The square foot price when the house at 32 Kerslake was originally sold privately was $175.88 a square foot. That's before the reno. Then there's this huge house at 714 Park Boulevard, 4,194 square feet on a beautiful street, a block from my house on the other side of the lake, with a huge lot. And it sold in 2014 for $745,000. Adjusted to the last time I was here, it came to $774,000, which is $184 a square foot. And I attached the sales data from the city's website from the sales book showing what that house sold for. So you have $208 a square foot, $178 a square foot for, $175 a square foot for 32 Kerslake, $208 a square foot for the house on Billingham. No renos done to that house, and yet the city says that my house should be assessed at $235 a square foot. That, with respect, makes no sense, especially when they agreed that the 2016 assessment should be lowered from $753 to $601. So given all those defects, my house isn't comparable to those other houses. There are, I assume, lots of houses in the area that haven't been upkept or have problems, but it's unfair to take the plums and put them before you and say, well, this house sold for $1 million and this house sold for $900,000. You have to look at the square footage and the condition. Mine is in horrible condition. I'm sad to say, and the sooner I can get out of it, the better. So, my respectful submission is in 2000 and, for 2016, the city agreed it was worth $601,000. Our rundown house doesn't go up $125,000 in 3 years. I'm suggesting with respect that if you use a number in between $175 and $208 a square foot, and my house doesn't have a pool, you come up with somewhere around $640 to $650 as a value on that house. And that would be fair in the circumstances. And I say that with deference to the board that heard the matter the last time. I guess I didn't do a good enough job last time trying to convince them, so I tried harder this time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Strachan?
I have
Questions?
questions.
Mr. Bess?
When did you purchase the house?
1996,
1996.
and I had my first claim for water damage within 2 weeks of taking possession.
And have you done any repairs to it since 1996?
None, other than I put a flashing around the roof, and I had the roof sealed, because there was some venting there. They thought maybe that would help slow the seepage of water.
That's all my questions, Madam Chair.
Mr. McCoy? Just a question, you've provided us pictures of, it looks like, some windows
Right.
and some damage in a dining room, and then it
The
looks like
dining room, the
And then-
kitchen,
exterior.
Yeah.
But you don't have any more pictures of the interior?
Ms. Sharp took a whole bunch of them. I'll see what I have.
You just have to keep them as evidence, though,
That's okay.
okay?
I may not have multiple copies. Here's
It's okay?
water seepage in my front foyer. Here's the window sill for one of the windows in the basement. I have multiples of these. This is my dining room ceiling.
Have you, so this all stems from your roof, the floor
Yes,
installation?
yes.
And have you had any estimates about how much that would cost to replace the roof?
I did 10 years ago, and it was cost prohibitive. It was between 90 and 100 for the roof, and about 70 to 80 for the windows 10 years ago. So I can only imagine how much they were now. My plan is to leave within the next 2 years.
And I'm sorry, I think you mentioned that it's a metal roof of some sort?
Commercial steel,
Commercial steel.
that was the selling feature of it. I'd never have to replace the roof.
Okay.
And the whole outside is stucco. See if I have some more interior pictures. It's the main floor office, you can see some watermarks on the wall. This is my living room ceiling.
Okay, you know what, that's fine, sir.
Okay.
I think we've got the picture.
All right,
And,
that's-
I'm and thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much. Good morning. And thank you, Mr. Strachan.
104 Rose Lake Crescent.
Would you like to swear in affirm?
I can affirm.
Okay, please state your full name.
Bashir.
And you affirm the evidence about the present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I present that.
Thank you. Do you have any evidence for the panel?
So, because I lost the notes of the one you sent, so I don't know how to go through the website and get all the evidence. But I have a few things I can mention for now. So, if that's possible, I can at least get my appointment for that to prepare the evidence. It's a straightforward my question, nothing otherwise.
Okay, we can just present how you like.
Let me get-
Yeah, you can just present verbally, sir, that's
Sure.
fine.
Yeah. So if I can say something, this is very complicated for me. I thought it's very straightforward, so I don't know that there's a lot of,
Yeah,
it's
that's fine.
like in the court, so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is, which is then.
Mr. Strachan, whenever you're ready.
What was the address, 104?
Rose Lake Court.
Number 16.
Yeah.
Okay, roll number 030929888075. 104 Rose Lake Court, it's in Bridgewater Trails. Two-story, single family, built last year, just under 3,000 square feet. It's got a walkout basement. There's basement finish. Looks like there's 6 washrooms. Usual features, air conditioning, fireplaces, attached garage. 15,500 square foot lot on the retention. Since Bridgewater Trails is a newer area, I had to go to the neighboring areas because sales, a lot of the properties in the Bridgewater Trails didn't exist as of April 1st, 2016, so I had to resort to going, kind of had to widen the parameters of neighborhoods. So the ones that were generated, Bridgewater Lakes, Forest, and property in South Point, all 2-story. Single family, 2010, 2015, similar square footage, 2,700 to just under 3,000 square feet. All the properties have walkout basement. Basement finish, washroom count in these comparables are only 4 washrooms compared to the 6. Central air fireplaces, attached garage. None of the comparables have lot sizes as large as the subject, 7,000 up to 7,500 square feet. All of the properties are on a retention as well. The 2019 assessment, 1.175 million. And the comparables, time adjustments, 987,000 to 1.289 million. You'll see the sale dates at the bottom line there, so fits into the range of sales that I supplied. Again, Bridgewater Trails, it's a newer neighborhood, so I had to resort to go outside the area. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Just of what he has said.
Yeah, so, first, like, as you said, there's nothing from the Bridgewater Trail. You said the land is big land, but again, it's the triangular shaped land, so it's not much on the street, you know, so it's very tight on the street. And the size of the house is not the size as mentioned in the assessment, it's less than that.
Okay, sorry, did you actually have questions? Because you're just giving
No,
statements
no.
about your house. And it's okay if you
Yeah,
don't have
that's fine.
questions, that's fine. Mr. Buss, do you have any questions of Mr. Strachan?
Was this appealed in 2018?
As far as I know, it's just 19.
Have you been at the property?
No.
That's all my questions.
Mr. Murphy? So, Mr. Strachan, have you been in this development at all?
It was, yeah, I just on a personal basis took a drive around one day. Work-wise, no, I don't generally go in this neighborhood.
This is a new build,
Yes.
so when did it appear on your books?
The supplementary, it was late last year, 2018. But, I didn't bring the supplementary notices.
Okay, so you don't know what it was in 2018 now?
No.
Okay, thank you. Sir?
Okay. So, one thing, as I mentioned, the lot is very triangular lot, the size-wise is very tiny in the street. Secondly, the size is mentioned in the city is not the real size of the house, is less than that. They say it's around, it's not much, it's around 80 feet less. The price of the house, I brought it, I have the contract, you know, it's just 1 million, that's the real price of the house. Again, nobody assists the house, nobody come and assist the house. My understanding, there is some houses in my street. I don't look what I ask my neighbor what they have, and I look on the website of the assessment, you know. And my street is less than that. Even their houses is bigger than that and sold bigger than that. I mean, I don't, as I said, I don't go through the website detail to print it. But that's why when I was surprised with the houses more than what the price I bought it. I buy 1 million, and I see the system almost close to 1.2.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Strachan, do you have any questions?
You mentioned 1 million.
Yeah,
Was that the cost?
the whole house, yes, with the land.
Okay, that was the cost approach to the value, not the market,
No, that's how I paid money to build
to
it,
have it built,
completely.
okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
usually my understanding, I mean, I have been before in city, I was in Brandon a few years ago. When I moved here, I brought the house and they assisted even less than what usually you buy, because usually market go up and down, you know, to be fair for. So this is why I was shocked, it's the assessment more than what the price I give, you know. So, and nobody, as I said, usually people come and see the house, you know, from the city. I was surprised to see all this number, nobody come and check the house. How you assess the house based on numbers, you don't come and assess it. The house could be different. You could have the same size of house with 500 or million or 2 million, depending on how much you put in the house too. And that's why I don't buy a show home, because usually they're very expensive. They put a lot of things there, so I try to build it simple as much as possible.
Okay. Mr. Strachan, did you have any more questions?
No, I don't, thank you.
Mr. Buss?
I'd like to ask the assessor a question if I could.
Go ahead.
Was the house inspected?
Exterior
Exterior window, has been in it.
and the plans, exterior and plans for the interior layout. Just regarding the 80 square foot difference, was it?
Yeah,
See, a lot of builders do not include on the plans, they remove, some of the builders, they remove that 80 square feet to account for the stairway up to the second floor, for the missing floor area. We assess it. If you move those, if you brought this set of stairs up, you got floor area, we assess it as part of the gross living area.
Thank you. So you bought the lot and then?
I bought the lot and built it.
Who was the builder?
Artista. Artista? And I have the contract here.
That's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So, sir, you bought the land in 2016
Yes.
for 280? Six.
Yes,
So then you spent just over 700,000 to build the house?
yes, because the
Because you're saying the million included everything?
included the lot and, it's a 9999, including the lot and the building.
Okay,
But not including the the landscaping and stuff. It's only the 15,000 part of the landscaping only.
Okay, so you've landscaped the property since?
Well, I didn't do the landscaping yet. I'm starting doing that now.
Okay. And have you built a fence
Not yet.
or a deck? or
Not,
anything?
because not the houses beside me, the one is just finished and the other one's still under construction. That should be by the end of the year. Because there is a lot of houses still under construction, that street.
Right. When did you move in, sir?
I moved in May last 2017, not this year, the year before.
Okay. And do you recall what your 2018 assessment was?
I have the paper, and is it the one from the city they sent? 18. I don't understand all this number. 18. I think it's them in the city. Because right now I pay more than, I looked monthly payment, which is, because I don't pay the first year, you know, because I moved in May. So I pay the land only at that time, and then they adjusted, so I pay for 2 years now, like, together, on monthly basis. So my payment is a 1,600 a month, which is, it's over what I expected, really, you know, it's a huge amount, I mean. You can have, it's in the,
Okay.
actually, this is the one sent by the city, yes.
Yeah. So was your home custom built for you?
Yes, because I did the plan with the artista, and I built with him for sure.
Okay.
Because the problem is, I have a lot of children, you know, so most of the houses, so we try to squeeze in more rooms than anything, and that's why the bathroom is 6, because we are 7 people in the house. So the cost, as I say, the problem is, it's over my budget, really, it's a 16, so not expected. I used to pay 500 a month for property tax. That's a huge amount.
Okay. So you're looking for what assessment then?
Well, I thought assessment based on what I thought, but the real price of the house, at least, you know, it's not like you pay what, usually the houses, cities, and I have been here for 15 years, you know, and usually the city assessment less than what I always buy houses, you know. When I buy houses, I have 2 houses before. I was happy is that the city, they do less than what I bought it for usually. But this time I was shocked. It's more than what I bought the house with.
Okay, sorry, can I have a number? Do you have a number then? You said it cost $1 million, so is that what you're looking
Yes.
for then?
That's what it's costing me. I don't want less than what it costs. That's a reality, you know. I'm not asking to be less than that. Unless you guys think there's a number, the city doing, how much the prices cost, usually the city is less, or if they force it to be less or up, I'm okay with that. But I'm telling the truth. I paid $1 million, that's all that cost me.
Okay. Just one last question. The finishings on the inside, do you have hardwood and granite countertops
I
in
have-
your bathroom
I have-
or your kitchen?
I have a granite in the kitchen. I have hardwood and some area of porcelain, and there's a carpet, a full carpet downstairs and upstairs.
Okay.
And as I said, I try to make it simple. That's why I don't want to show home there a lot of stuff and come for expense.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I'm
for
sorry it
coming.
was not
Leave it with
expected
us.
all of this. So-
No, that's fine.
Could I ask one question?
Sure.
I didn't notice, the information that the appellant gave you, was it sales comparisons or
No.
No, I
This is
just-
previous, this
Oh, okay.
2018
The
assessment.
assessment.
the assessment?
I don't know how to go through the sales
Okay.
assessment.
No, that's-
I bought a house. I don't know there was assessment.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
that's fine, thank you.
Okay, and thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, no problem. Uh, 18 Kowalski Crescent.
I will say the tool.
Okay, so please state your full name.
So
And you affirm the evidence about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. I can take your evidence.
Sure.
I just need 5 copies, please.
Solely.
Thank you.
Mr. Strachan, whenever you're ready.
Zero 100960118 18 Kowalski Crescent. This is in the new Charleswood development area, Birdswood South. 2-story, single family, built in 2016, just over 2,000 square feet. It's got a full basement. Our records show there's nothing has been developed in the basement as of yet. 3 washrooms, central air, attached garage, 4,700 square foot lot. Comparables 1 through 4 are either in Varsity View or Elmhurst. Ridgewood against new development, and find sales prior to April 2016 isn't possible. So all the properties supplied 2-story. They're all older, of course, 2001 up to 2014. Lot size is 18 up to 2,100 square feet. 2 of them do have basement finish, similar washroom count. Features, air conditioning, attached garage. Lot sizes are all larger than the subject. 5,000 up to 14,000 square feet. Time adjusted sale prices, 471,000 up to 579,000. The 2019 assessment on the property is 482,000, and sales history at the lower section. The sale was post-reference, and as a result of many municipal board decisions, post-reference sales can't be considered. You need to see copies of the municipal board decisions. This post-reference sale, I can't take into consideration. So I had to take a look at sales that did occur prior to the reference date. Thank you.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No, I have no question.
Mr. Buss?
Yes. The closest in age is the Elmhurst comparable. Is that reasonably close, that Elmhurst Road, 837?
It's a drive, not, I don't know. You don't know better than I would, maybe
Is this a new
5 minutes. Yeah,
Is this a new development right out at the perimeter?
yeah, that triangular piece, yeah, it's,
Just south of the Ridgewood, that Ridgewood Trail?
yes.
Did anybody inspect the property when it was?
This one I believe was exterior as well. A lot of just as an explanation, a lot of the new properties are done by exterior. A lot of times people aren't home anymore. Plus, when people get that card in the mailbox, they don't receive it. So, a lot of times now we have to go by the plans and an exterior inspection.
Okay. That's all my questions, Madam Chair. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Strachan, you are mentioning the sale price in 2016.
Yes.
What month was that?
I believe it was June. I'm not sure if that's possession date or sale.
Okay.
Sale date, I'm not
Okay,
sure.
I can
I'm
see
sure it'll
that.
be a ballot, but
Okay.
correct me there.
Just the other thing on your comparisons, the subject is by far the smallest lot size. Are you thinking comparison number 4 on Elmhurst is your best comparison, given the age?
Yeah, age-wise, difference, and that's an issue with the new developments also, is the tight, the lots are
Yeah,
pretty tight, so it's,
yeah, Elmhurst is 3 times the size.
yeah, much larger, yeah. The previous appellant didn't think lot size made a difference. Everybody has a different opinion on that.
Okay. Thank you. Sir, if you'd like to give us your presentation?
Yes. So, dear sales and madams, first of all, I would like to say English is my first language, so I might ask to repeat the questions, and sorry for maybe confusion.
No problem.
So first of all, I would like to bring to your attention some points to support my appeal. To start, I'd bring to board attention that the assigned property value higher in 10% than sale price, and in 16% from list price. For the beginning, please take a look into 14 similar houses that were sold on the same time. You can find it as a client buyer report. As you can see, the sale price varies between 372 and 435. Some of them are of the developed accommodated areas with the close infrastructure such as kindergartens, schools, daycares, community center, and kids' playgrounds. Some of them have fully or partially finished basements. Therefore, the first reason why the assigned property assessment exceeds the actual logical amount, in fact, that my area is still in development. We do not have the services mentioned above. The playground even does not have a target date as far as I know. So the second reason is the quality issue that are popping up among the period we are living there. Although Kensington is a builder, is reacting very fast for any concern that I brought to their attention. There are still some issues that have to be taken care of. During the time we are there, the walkway into main entry has been lowered in about 7-10 centimeters. You can find it on the picture provided. And also I got it got the incline, I hope I pronounce it properly, aside from the house. Yeah, as I said, please find the photos. There is also that appears to be like a crack across the driveway. Since 1 year of residence is behind, I'm not sure if Kensington can handle this problem. So I might need to take care of it by myself. So the question is, if we decide to sell the house, we will be able to ask for the self-same amount like the assigned value of 482. So most probably the answer is not, due to above quality issues and lack of mentioned services. In addition to all, I would assume that the growth fee is a part of a property tax. But I found in all related house purchase documents detailed list where a growth fee included already into the total price. Please find it attached as well. Bottom line, with the finished front and backyard, which I made by myself, deck and fence, the total amount does not exceed the assigned value. And then please, just a second, please. So the sum will be far away from 482,000. Yeah, I appreciate your time and thank you for letting me opportunity to share the information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Strachan, do you have any questions?
The sales comparisons that you supplied, I can only take into consideration sales that occurred prior to April 1st, 2016. Which ones, I haven't gone through them all, which ones occurred prior to April 1st, 2016?
So all of them is from 2016. We can go through and found out which one is April 2016. I think the most comparable with my house would be one in page 6 of 14. Yeah, it's despite the year it's been sold in 2015, but in terms of what this house can offer, it's pretty similar to mine. So I can, you can see the list price was even higher than mine, 4,089, but the sale price was only for 20, and also it has a fully finished basement, and it is in the developed area. As I mentioned, wine is not.
Okay. What year was that property, what year was the house built? The one year, you mentioned this shelter.
Sorry.
What year was it built?
What year? It's 2016. Mine was built in 2000.
No, sorry, the comparable. You
Oh,
just-
the comparable in
Yeah.
1984.
1984.
Yeah, there is some more comparable houses that were built in the comparable year, and all of them are not exceed the assigned property value as mine.
I have no other questions.
Thank you. Mr. Best?
So there's no development in the lower level? We see it's still
Yeah.
like this?
It's still like this. The picture was taken 2 days ago.
That's all my questions. Thank you.
Sir, when did you take possession of the house?
In November 2016. November 25th, 2016.
So you purchased the home, it was already built?
I purchased the home, it was only what is called, the frost, the frame, before the frame.
Foundation?
Foundations, yes,
Okay,
thank you,
so you were the first owner?
yes.
But you purchased the home and the lot all together, correct?
That's right.
Okay. And what have you done to the property since you've moved in?
I attached the bill of deck and the bill of fence. So you can find the amounts over there, and finish the front and the backyard.
You put grass down beside
Yes.
it?
To take to some all the spans for front yard and backyard and the deck, as I mentioned, fence, it doesn't exceed the assigned value, and much higher than assigned value. You can find all the costs attached.
Sorry, you included the costs in your
Yes.
package? Okay, thank you. And so what number are you looking for?
Yeah, I would say the amount that I paid for this house is a appropriate amount to assign as a property value, which is for 38.
Sorry, did you say 438?
Yes, sorry, 438,000.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Leave it with us.
Over there.
Thank you, too. And 109 Kowalski?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I already
You're-
got those. I'm
You're,
just,
you're accepting the
Yeah.
recommendations, though?
yeah, because I already paid for everything, I was just curious how it goes.
Okay. Mr. Strachan, you're aware that 109 Kowalski, they're accepting your recommendations?
Yes. Thank you. 0100960137 The 2017 roll was,
Sorry, they're accepting the recommendations.
I thought I always had to read it off anyway.
Well, we can do it at the end.
Okay.
I do have just one question for all of this, or you want me to just,
Yeah, you'd have to be sworn in.
okay, that's fine. I think you know the questions for the applications, the one I was asking, that's the only question I have.
Yeah. You'll have to ask.
If you want to stay to the end of the hearing, you can ask the secretary.
Sure. Okay, okay.
10 Hofstede Drive.
Would you like to bring your, please state your full name
Boris Sapochnikov.
and you affirm the evidence about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. I can use for evidence now. Start, please.
Strachan, we've got 2 different years here under appeal, but you've got different comparisons, I see.
Yes, we are. Okay, roll number 20. 10 Hofstad. First one is the 2017 assessment. Property is in neighborhood 649 Ridgewood South. 2-story, single family, built last year, just under 2,100 square feet, full basement, 3 washrooms, central air, attached garage, 5,200 square foot lot. The 2017 assessment based on reference April 1st, 2014, $483,000. As I mentioned, this assessment, April 1st, 2014. As of that date, Ridgewood South didn't exist, it was just Farmer Joe's field and the forest of that area. So all the comparables are in Betsworth. Had to go outside the neighborhood, of course. All 2 stories. Older properties, of course, 87 to 95. 2,000 to 2,100 square feet, full basement. 75% of them do have basement finish. 3 or 4 washrooms, central air. Subject property doesn't have a fireplace, whereas the comparables do. Attached garages. Lot sizes are all larger. Again, it's in the Betsworth older neighborhood, larger lots. 6,200 up to just under 10,000 square feet. Sale prices, time adjusted sale prices, 460,000 up to 547. You'll see that the sale dates are all in 2013, since the reference date is April 2014. So based on sales from a different area within Charleswood, we've placed value $483,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, did you have any questions in regards to what the assessment has just presented?
Just one question. I was not sure about the last number. You said 400. He said that assessment value 480.
400. The 2000. You had appealed the 2017.
And 18.
18, right. So the 2017 value, the reference date is April 1st, 2014, whereas the 2018 assessment roll, 2018-2019, is April 1st, 2016. We have to do a reassessment every 2 years, so that reference date moves up every year.
Yeah, so 2017 assessment year is 2014?
Yes, it's always 2 years behind.
Yeah. So we're seeing that as of April 1st, 2014, if your house had even existed at that point, where it is now, it might have sold for that $483,000. That's somewhat awkward to try and explain, especially when nothing existed in that field at that point, but we still have to come up with a number back to 2014.
Yeah, thank you very much for your answer. I understand this, but I was, like, when I got these letters, both letters for 2017 and 2018, both letters state, and I can read it on the page 2 or 3, it say, like, this say 2017 supplementary early assessment application for revision, and on the page 2 or 3 it say The Municipal Assessment Act provides every 2 years, so an assessment roll year, April 1st, 2016. So I prepared for assessments for 2016, exactly what a letter said me to prepare. Letter didn't say 2014. Thank you very much for your answer, but sorry, a letter said 2016.
I'd have to read it.
Yeah, maybe it's just
Yeah, it's,
some kind of type mistake, but it's important for me.
no,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah. Sorry, I don't have a copy, but I can give you my original. So you can see on the first page, assessment 2016, and if you
Right.
turn around, you'll see the 2017.
Right, so it gives the reference date, yeah.
So I prepared 2016.
And that's fine, sir. Like, but it gives you a reference date here of April 1st, 2014. See, opposite the 2016, your general assessment year is 2016, but your reference date for that is April 1st, 2014.
I can circle what exactly I am speaking about. I'm speaking about this.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a 2000, yes.
right. Anyway,
Yeah,
the
so
city sent,
it's a little bit confused.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
but you know what? That's fine. We're gonna hear your evidence, so don't be concerned. And I'm just gonna have the assessor, after we ask questions, present his evidence for 2018. And then you can give your presentation to us, because we're looking at 2 different assessment years, okay? Mr. Best, do you have any questions at all?
Well, old standard question, was this house inspected, this new property?
this, not that I'm aware of for this one. It's, again, it's difficult to get into homes anymore.
Okay. And the comparables, they're from one is from the 80s and the other is from the 90s. Was there no houses built newer than that in Charleswood in the 2000 time
There was
sometime?
very few infill projects. I know there has been infill in Charleswood. A lot of them were bungalows because the lots were large enough to be able to put a ranch
Is that-
bungalow.
Okay.
Infill, 2 stories, very limited.
That's all my questions. Thank you.
So, Mr. Strachan, just what Mr. Best just stated, all your comparisons are well over 20 years older, larger lots, more centrally located.
Yeah, I could have went to, I suppose I could have went to Bridgewater. We've got newer homes there, numbers gonna be a bit different as well, so it's,
Yeah. That's an entirely different area.
right,
so.
just like Bettesworth, it's a different area, older Charleswood, but,
Okay. Do you want to just go to 2018, read off your comparisons, and then we'll hear this gentleman?
okay. Same features for the property. All the comparables, again, in Charleswood, you see 3 out of 4 are in Elmhurst and 1 varsity view. These are a bit newer. The comparable 2 is 2005. That's about the closest. 2 stories, 1,900 up to 2,100 square feet, full basement. Basement developments in most of them, 3 or 4 washrooms. Air conditioning, attached garage, lot sizes, 5,000 to 7,400 square feet. Time adjusted sale prices get just under 500,000 up to 533,000. So we've got the property assessed for 2018 at 492,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, did you have any questions of what the assessor has just stated on these properties?
Maybe I want to say something about this, but it's not really questions, it's more like statements.
Sure, you can leave that to your presentation.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have questions, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Buss?
No questions.
So again, Mr. Strachan, for your 2018, you've got properties that are outside of the area, centrally located, 20 years older, bigger lots,
Yeah.
more amenities.
Yes. Need of renovations or
Yeah.
upgrades.
Yeah.
So it
Can
balances.
you tell me what the percentage increase the city used in Charleswood for assessments between 2017 and 2018?
The average, I believe it was, I don't have the chart handy, but I believe it was 6%, but that's average, not the median. It'd be more accurate if it was, if we had the breakdown for, or we don't supply the breakdown for bungalows, 2 stories. They're all different, every type of property is different, so it's, 4-level splits aren't as popular as they were back in the 80s, so they went up minimal, very minimal. So it's all different, but I believe average is around 6.
And does that percentage change in regards to a brand new area? Brand new developments?
It was a lot more difficult to come up with those averages because when those numbers were calculated, a lot of these properties didn't even exist at that point. So to blend those or to fit those percent increases of new properties, it's very difficult. Those numbers would have been based on sales that occurred up until April 2016, and this sale occurred last year, so it's very difficult to come up with a number to take new properties into consideration.
Fine. Sir, if you'd like to give us your presentation.
Thank you. So thank you very much for this opportunity that I can speak about my property. So I prepared several sets. I would like to go from today and go like slowly back in time and explain about the changes in prices and what is going on in, especially in my area. So if I will start today to build a new house in my area exactly the same, you can see from my first set of papers, it's from the Kensington realtor, the same realtor where I purchased my house. So the price will be, if I will start to build like today or tomorrow, price will be 462,000 $462,433.20 if I will decide today to build like this property. If you go and look on the second set of my evidence, I call this set Market 2018. The first property that on 58 Johnson Crescent was built in 2017 and was several attempts to sell this property since July 17, 2018. A list price $459,900, and unfortunately this property was not sold as I know. Another property, 2018, to be built, still not built, and the price is for 153,900. And if you look on some older properties, like 1986 with fully finished basement and insulated, and attempts to sell it property today for 469,900 was failed, and this property was sold for 450,000. And it's property like one, I will say, very great and amazing property. So at the end of this page, you can see that average sold price for similar properties was $436,304. So it's $223.22 per square feet, and it's what has happened today in 2018. And now I'm approaching or starting to speak about like my assessment or market value for 2016. I was supposed to prepare market value for 2016. So in 2016, a picture was not much better. I will say even worse. I mean, about the prices. If you look on properties that were sold very close to my property, like one that was expected to be built in 2016, 106 Kowalski Crescent, the property was sold for 430,957. Another new property on 15 Kowalski Crescent was sold for 425,000. Another property that older, like not brand new property, but also was sold in 2016, was sold for 372,000. Another property in 1981 built, also old property, but very similar to mine, and on 82 Epsom Crescent was attempt to sold it for 389,900, but unfortunately was sold for 385,000. Two last properties that I'm speaking about, these fully finished properties, with basement, with front, backyard, like this established area, with everything. So nice, perfect houses, and unfortunately on market 2016 they are sold very badly. If I go and look for the new property, next one is again new property, built 2016, sold 2016, and was sold for 405,000, so just 405. And another old property, 1980 years built, was similar property, very similar to my property, and was sold for 385,000. Average price for this 2016 year in my average price for 2016 year in my area was $400,493, so around $400,000. But we have to pay attention that some of the houses that influenced this price had fully finished basements, front yard, backyard, fence, and very nice developed area. My area is so very nice, but it's not developed at all. Unfortunately, if you drive on Wilkes and turn on Charleswood Road and approach my area, you can almost immediately see my house, and it looks like kind of disaster. Why it looks horrible? Because all around my house, construction is ongoing construction. Houses built, and I don't know how it was exactly a plan of the city, because when I purchased this house, and my possession day was last year, 2017, June 2017. I was promised, like I got a word from my realtor that when my house will be built, another houses around my house will be built as well. So builder or all builder companies will finish like street by street. When it will be finished my street, they will go to the next street. But it just not happened. They skipped some streets, and what happened, all area on Hofstad Drive, where exactly my house located, houses not built. So they built houses from one side of the street, and they didn't build houses from the other side of the street. So so basically on my backyard, I was supposed to have another property, and it's nothing there. It's kind of dumping area. It's a lot of signs around that say please don't dump, but people dump. And it looks horrible, and my house doesn't have, my house has a basement, but it's not finished basement, so it's like empty, nothing there. I don't have fence, and my neighbors doesn't have fence, and not only houses beside me, no, like all Hofstad Drive, from the forest until the end, nobody doesn't have fence. All these properties, most of these properties doesn't have backyards. Some of them started to put at least grass. Some of them have some kind of decks. I don't have, and you can see it from the picture, I don't have grass, I don't have fence, I don't have stones, I don't have anything. I have just weeds on all this area, and weeds continues from my house until the another side of the road, and as I said, if you approach this area, it was disaster. I don't have any stores or shopping area in my close to my house, compared to the houses that were sold in 2016 or 18. I don't have playgrounds. I have 3 children, and they just don't have place to play. So usually, in order to play with my children, I have to do kind of rides and drive to the closest playground. Pingina School Division, unfortunately, doesn't include my area in the bus road. So when I spoke to the Pingina School Division, they said me, sorry, but it's still not included, so we can drop out your kids on Charleswood Road, and they will need to walk. So my children are supposed to walk through all Hofstad Drive, through all non-developed area, where is construction ongoing, whereas every day from like 5-6 a.m. until sometimes 7 p.m., 11 p.m., construction cars around, and they're walking. So my kids can't walk there. They will be in danger. So basically, I have to transport my kids to the school. Next problem is my house very close to T intersection. So what's happened? Construction cars and all other cars use my driveway of my house as a turn around area. So they just basically go on my driveway if my car's not there. So they just basically go on driveway and go out. And it's happened also with houses beside my house. But they maybe love my house as I love. So they frequently doing this on my driveway. So my kids just don't have place where to walk out, because even to play on the front yard, I've completed my front yard, so they can play on front yard, but I'm afraid, because sometimes just cars going in, and especially construction cars, and they don't care. It was once that construction people destroyed part of my lawn and part of the lawns of neighbors, and I was not even know to whom to speak, so I just rebuilt part of my lawn. Like I replaced like almost 50% of my grass. The next problem is yeah. So no, So I want so.
So we have a clear,
Yeah,
we have a
another,
clear picture, sir, of
yeah,
of
yeah,
what your
yeah. So
situation
another
is.
problem that I wanted to speak about is about the Mr. Stretchen as a suggestion. Can I speak about it?
Sure.
Yeah. If I look on the page that I received today in the morning, only like I'm speaking about the page about the assessment 2017, only one house has no basement. All other houses has a basement, and this house that doesn't have a basement is on 7 Kinwright Place, and it has a much bigger lot. And if you look on the price of this house, what is interesting is 451,000. So what I'm trying to say is this, only one house that compared to my house doesn't have a basement, his price much more lower. And what is interesting, it was sold not 2016, it sold on September 2013, and it's even, yeah. Another problem that I see on these papers is if I look on paper of 2018, again, I'm looking on the houses, only one houses doesn't have built basement, but this house on the beautiful area, I wish I want to be in this area. It's like by side of Assington Forest, so it's far, far away and from where is my house built. So, yeah, so I believe my market values for 2016, they present a better picture. And based on this picture, I believe the price for my property for April 1st, 2014 market value should be 390,000. And I believe for 2018 it should cost more. So I believe it should be 395,000. And thank you very much. I'm ready for the question.
Thank you. Mr. Strachan?
I have no questions.
Mr. Bess?
This is your house here?
Yes, yes.
Backyard, front.
Yeah, this is my house, my backyard from my house. And it continues all the way back, like, all properties on one street, all back is similar to mine.
So you haven't landscaped the backyard yet?
Not landscape, no fences, nothing, no, yeah, unfortunately.
Thank you. That's all my questions.
Okay. And sir, I just have one question. You purchased this home in 2017?
My possession date was June 2017. Like my first time that I approached a realtor and I signed papers, it was August, September 2016. And they started to build, and they finished to build. And I took possession August 2000. Yes, like basically.
In June of 17?
Yes.
You took possession?
Yes, I
Okay.
took possession June 2017.
Okay. And you paid $428,000 for it?
No, I paid 460,000.
You paid $460,000?
Yes,
With the GST.
with everything, yeah. Like for land, for everything.
Okay, thank you for coming today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And we're just going to take a 5-minute break. Chairman, I'd like to call this hearing back to order, and our next property is 71 Autumn View Drive.
The option to swearing on the Bible or to affirm about it. Okay. Please state your full name. And you affirm the evidence you have presented is the truth of your testimony. Please state your full name. And you affirm the evidence you have presented is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. Do you have any evidence you want to share with the panel?
Sure.
Mr. Strachan, whenever you're ready.
Okay, roll number 030914342007, 71 Autumn View Drive, South Point neighborhood. Bungalow built in 2009, 2,100 square feet, it's got a walkout, and there's basement finish, 3 washrooms, air, fireplaces, attached garage, and a 10,000 square foot lot. The 3 out of 4 of the comparables are South Point as well. Comparable 3 is Bridgewater Forest. All bungalows, years built 2009 or 11. 1,600 square feet up to 2,300 square feet, so it fits in the range. All of them have walkouts. Basement finishes, 3 or 4 washrooms, similar features there, fireplaces and attached garages. None of the comparables have lot sizes as large, 6,300 to approximately 9,500 square feet. Sale prices, time adjusted sale prices, $684,000 to 1.1 million. All the sales occurred in 2015. We would assess at $880,000, $413 a square foot, and you'll see the sales history at the bottom. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions of the assessor? No? Thank you. Mr. Buss?
Yes, where exactly is the South Point
It's,
neighborhood?
I don't have a map, but
Is it close to that Bridgewater
Close to
Forest
Bridgewater.
area?
It's
It's close to Bridgewater.
yeah, it's close.
to the, further up.
Okay, so it's much nicer area than Bridgewater.
No, Bridgewater is better, I guess. It's a new area.
Okay, that's all my questions.
Mr. Strachan, I'm assuming that this has popped up because of the sale in 2017?
No, this value would have been determined in late 2015. Because for the 2018 assessment, the reference date is April 1st, 2016, so we had to have the numbers prepared before this, before the property sold. This number would be would fit into the range for the 2020 reassessment.
Okay. So do you know, looking at the sale history, 2017 and 750?
Yeah, it was, I don't have the,
Do you have a possession date or anything?
no, I don't.
Okay. And the sale in 2010?
Yeah, that was the first sale. The You see that 2009, there was a land purchase, and then the 2010 was the first time sale.
Right, I'm just looking at the discrepancy between that and 2017. To the best of your knowledge, was this an arm's length?
To the
The
best of my knowledge.
2017?
As far as I know, yes.
It was listed on MLS?
I don't know if it was a listing, but there was no notes about considering a non-bona fide sale, so. As far as I know, it was a listing.
And you didn't have a chance to inspect the property?
No, I didn't.
Okay, and did you do a drive-through?
No.
But you're familiar with this area?
I've been in Silk Point area.
Okay. So, all your comparisons and including the subject property are listed as being on a park?
Yes.
So not park behind or park in front?
It's probably, I don't have a map, it's probably behind.
Okay, I'll ask
Sure.
when they. Okay, that's all my questions, thank you. If you'd like to proceed.
So deep in the evidence of the current market listings, now on the first page there are like 17 listings which are pretty much comparable houses to mine, and most of them are also the price range which our house is valued at. If you see the property number 12 and 13, those are market for like 164 and 169 days. So still those are not selling. Like, these are the same price of 899. The one which are sold on the next page is almost similar house to mine. These are sold for pretty much range of $750,000. The first one, even the one on the Bridge Lake Drive, sold in 2017, exactly same date when I bought my property. Almost same square footage, everything else is same bedrooms, same washrooms, like selling for $750,000.
Sorry, sir, any sales you're referencing in 2018 are not applicable because we're looking at.
2017.
Yeah, we're looking at dates of 2016, April
Okay.
1st, 2016.
I'm thinking 2016 should be even less than 2017 sales prices.
Yeah, so we're looking only at sales up until April 1st, 2016.
2016, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, only 2016 is just a mine house, it was listed for $899, but we couldn't sell it, and the price reduced to $799. Still they couldn't sell it. We bought it for $750 in 2017. It was on market for like almost 6 months for the price of $799. And even with the current prices, whatever is selling right now on the same street, is a, there's nothing else for 2016. And that's pretty much it from my side. I'm thinking it's overassessed.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Strachan, did you have any questions?
When you purchased the house, was it vacant at the time?
Yes.
I have no other questions.
Thank you. Mr. Gus?
Yes. Is there anything about your house that would affect the sale price? I see it was listed for $899. That's, didn't sell anywhere near that. So is there any reason that you can think of that you can tell us?
I'm thinking maybe the seller already bought it for $839 in 2009. Maybe they're just trying to sell it at the same price what they bought it, just increase it a little bit. The market is not that much.
It was an average condition when you purchased it, and
It was same condition.
do you know how long had it been sitting vacant?
Based on just the listing, I'm saying it's vacant maybe 6 months almost.
Thank you, that's all my questions.
Can you just tell me the possession date of your home?
August 31, 2017.
And have you made any improvements to your home since the
No,
purchase?
not at all.
And so you're looking for your assessment to be what your purchase price was?
Yes, close to that. 70, 70%.
Okay, leave it with us.
Okay,
Thank you very much for
Thank you very
coming.
much.
And 12 Waterstone Drive.
Would you like to swear in or affirm? Affirm? Okay, please state your full name. And you affirm to testify to present the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Please state your full name. And you affirm to testify to present the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay?
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Stratton.
12 Waterstone, 030929765150. It's another South Point property. 2-story, 2017, 2,800 square feet, walkout basement. Has basement finish, 5 washrooms, and the usual features, air, fireplaces attached. 10,500 square foot lot, and it's on the retention pond. Comparables 1 and 4, South Point as well, the other 2, Bridgewater. Lakes, 2 stories, a little bit older, 2011, 2015. The square footage, 27 to 3,300 square feet, walkout. Finished basement, 3, 4 washrooms, same features, lot sizes, 7,500 to approximately 12,000 square feet, all on the, 2 of them are close to the retention. Comparables 1 and 2 are close to the retention, but they are not adjacent to it as comparables 3 and 4 are. And again, the subject is adjacent to the retention. Time adjusted sale prices, 940,000 to 1,052,000. We have the property assessed at 1,089,000, or $387 a square foot. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions of the assessor?
Yeah, just with comparison number one, I see that it's, the sale price was, or the adjusted price was $1,052,900. I was just wondering, do you know if it was fully furnished at that time?
I couldn't tell you, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Buss, did you have any questions?
Yes, when it says retention pond adjacent, so it would be right on the pond, there's no pathway or anything like that. And when it says influence, it could be a
Yeah, it could be a
pathway.
path, that's whatever city owns pathway, or here's the pond. Property over here, not quite on the retention, does have an influence. People look at that, but their property does not go right onto the
Okay.
retention.
That's all my questions.
Thank you. Once again, was this property inspected?
I did not. Sorry.
You don't have any notes?
Oh, did somebody? Yeah, it was, I know for sure there was exterior.
Exterior?
Yep.
only? Okay. Once again, you didn't drive by?
No, I didn't.
And I'm assuming comp 2 and 3, you used Bridgewater because they're on ponds? They have a
Yeah,
similar,
that's
similar
one-
lot size?
Yeah, I tried to narrow it down, walkout plus, close to retention, because there's a lot of sales in the areas, South Point as well as, the Bridgewater areas, they do back onto the retention, so it's fairly, a lot of sales that fit into those parameters, try and get it as close as possible.
So I just have a question in regards to comp 4. Same area,
Yes.
it's just 6 years older. It's bigger by 500 square feet.
Yeah.
It's on the retention pond, same size as lot. But yet when it comes to adjusted sale price, you've got the subject at 387 and this is only at 294.
Yeah, I could have searched for sales higher, with the economy of scale being 3,300 square feet and being older, the rate per square foot is gonna be lower. I try and show a range. I probably could have got sales all above the assessment under appeal, but I'm just showing a range, just quite a range, but in that case, the biggest difference is the age.
Okay. Thank you, that's all my questions. Would you like to proceed with your presentation?
So, we, the residents of 12 Waterstone Drive, believe the assessed value of our property is not accurate. For starters, the size of our property has been overestimated. So according to the builders, KDR Homes, the house is 2,697 square feet, which is less than the assessed size of 2,810 square feet. Therefore, the assessed value of our house, which was $1,089,000, should be decreased. Another piece of the evidence that indicates that the assessed value of our house is an overestimation would be the total cost of our property as of May 15th, 2017. With a total lot cost of $226,000 and a house cost of $671,061.30, the property's market value on May 15th, 2017 would be $942,775.37 after GST. We've also done some landscaping in the front yard, which costed a total of $2,458.50. Therefore, we believe the assessed value of our property should not be greater than $945,233.87. By reviewing the sales of properties with similar features, we can also see that the price of our property may have been overestimated. So the following data has been gathered from Winnipeg's Property Assessment Details website, as well as Winnipeg's Sales Book website. So if you go to the last page of that booklet, you'll see a table with all the data. So the first house that I'd like to look at is 180 Lake Bend Road. It has similar living area compared to our property. It has less assessed land area. The time adjusted price was $814,078. This house is fully landscaped with lots of rocks, multiple trees and shrubs, and it has a brick driveway which would increase the market value. I'd also like to look at 58 Clear Spring Road. So it has a much larger living area. It has more assessed land area, and the time adjusted price was $940,230. This house is also fully landscaped with lots of rocks, multiple trees and shrubs, which would increase the value of the house. And then just looking at 11 Trailside Crescent, so it's a larger living area. It has a little bit less assessed land area. And although the time adjusted sale price was $1,052,857, from what I understand, this house was a show home and it was fully furnished, which is why I'm assuming the price went quite a bit higher. And then so on that table, basically everything in green, those are some of the comparable locations. And then if you flip to the first page in the booklet, so the first page shows a picture of the front of the house. As you can see, there is quite a bit of grass. There is a tree placed by the city, and then there are a few bricks with flowers in it. So the landscaping here wasn't too expensive. The next page shows the back of our house. So there isn't much landscaping done to the back quite yet. The third page indicates the size of our house. So it is, so from KDR Homes, it is 2,697 square feet. And then the next page will indicate the price of our lot, which is $226,800. The price of the home is also on here, but that contract price was adjusted since the size of our house was changed. So the next page will indicate the price of our house, without GST and with GST. And then finally, the last page is the table of all the data and just a quick summary of all of the costs associated with our house. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Strachan?
So you're saying the market value is the cost value of the property?
Well, like just comparing our house with the market values, because I understand that we're supposed to show what our house was supposed to sell at in 2016. So we compared it to all the time adjusted sale prices for the 2016 assessment time.
Okay. So you feel it's at the cost number, the $945,233?
Yeah, so that the $945,233.87.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions.
Mr. Best?
So you purchased a lot and then had the home built, custom built? Was it
Yes.
your plans, or did the builder have the plan?
It was based off their plats.
Based off their
Yeah.
plan? Okay, the square foot discrepancy, is there a large open area that goes from the first floor to the second floor that
There is, on the main floor, yeah.
There's
And
an
it
open
goes open to blow onto the second floor there.
That's all my questions, thank you.
Okay. What was the possession date?
It was July 25th, 2017.
And so, the pictures you've provided, front and back of your home, that's current?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
That's, within the last week maybe.
Yeah, so obviously no grass laid in the back?
No, nothing yet.
No. Sorry, I think it's on your page 4. A poured concrete parking pad.
Yeah.
That was taken out, because the city didn't approve it, so we actually don't have that, at the bottom there.
Okay.
Yeah, that was initially added with when we had the home built, but the city didn't approve it, so that was taken out there.
I was just wondering, it
Yeah.
sort of looks like
Yeah.
like there's some sort of,
In the front, no, yeah, there
Yeah.
isn't, yeah.
okay.
Just a little bit of rocks there that we placed, but.
So your builder was KDR,
Yeah.
so you bought the lot, used their plans, or your, sorry, this is your mom and dad, right?
Yeah, mom and dad, yeah, but it will know, yeah.
Okay. And you haven't put a deck in or anything of that nature, pool?
No, nothing like that, no.
And regarding the finishings of the home, is it granite countertops, is it hardwood, is it?
It is granite countertops.
It's quartz.
It's quartz granite. I believe it's quartz countertops. And then tile flooring in some of the areas, and then carpet mostly on the second floor and basement.
Okay, so no hardwood?
No
floors.
hardware, no.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch, what's the number you're looking at?
The number that we're looking at roughly would be $945,233.87. And that you can see actually on the last page. There's just a smaller table there.
Right. Okay. Leave it with us.
I have one quick question.
Oh, sorry, you go right ahead.
Sorry. Where does this chart come from?
So basically this chart, this whole table, I started off with Winnipeg's property assessment details website. And then it led me to a 4-KRE PDF file where I was able to get the total adjusted sales price as well as the addresses. And then next I went on to the Winnipeg sales book website and I looked for everything. So I started with the total living area all the way to property influence.
Oh,
And then I
okay.
made this table.
So this is assessment department, property assessment department evidence?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there, not? I'm gonna, yep. It's just story, so I'm gonna move along to the next.
Would you like to swear in or affirm? Okay, please state your full name. And you affirm the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. I can take your evidence.
It's good.
Mr. Strachan, whenever you're ready.
Okay, roll number 030929911320. Bridgewater Trails property. 2-story, built 2017, 2,400 square feet. Snow basement finish, 3 washrooms, attached garage, and 6,000 square foot lot. We've applied the light traffic influence as well as there's a walkway nearby the property. All the, again, this Bridgewater Trails newer development, so had to move over to the Bridgewater Lakes area. 2 stories, all built 2015. Lot size is 2,200 up to approximately 2,500 square feet. Full basement. Washroom count is very close. Air conditioner. According to our records, none of these properties have air conditioning, but that may have changed by now. Attached garage for all the properties as well. Lot sizes in the 5,000 to 6,000, and all the properties comparables have a walkway, but not a light traffic influence applied to it. The 2018 assessment is $517,000. The sales as applied time adjustments. The lowest one, 490,000, and the highest, 533,000. And sales history at the bottom, 2017 sale. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions of the assessor?
One question on the government assessment property tax. I found the residence total area is 2,402 square feet, but I checked my set plan. I found it's only 2,376 square feet. So I think that's a wrong number.
Okay. I can take a look at it. Back in the office, 26 square feet. It could be rounding factors. At this point, I can't tell you why there is a difference, but if I get back in the office, I'll take a look. 26 square feet isn't gonna make any difference. So, but I can update the records.
And the last question is the rooms 8, and I cannot count how many. Only I count 7 rooms in my house. I don't know why it's 8 rooms.
Room count?
Yeah.
Is that from the website?
Yeah. On my material, the first page, it shows rooms 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd have to take a look at the plans. I'll take your word for it. That can be changed on the website. Again, that's not gonna affect value.
So, okay, that's my question.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Best?
Yes, is the walkway a positive or negative figure?
At this
Neutral?
point, it's a point of interest. Some people like them, some don't. Some would prefer a walkway for their kids instead of no sidewalks. So it's just more of a point of interest. The traffic influence does have a negative.
The light traffic.
Light traffic, yes.
Thank you, that's all my questions.
Any questions? Mr. Strachan, again, you've used Bridgewater Lakes as your comparable. That's because there was no sales in trails.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, that's right.
Are you familiar with the area? Did you do a drive-by?
No, I did.
What is the main difference between the lakes and the trails areas? They're side by each?
Yeah, there's a lot of different builders. They build on both areas. It's just the you know, I can't, they filled up one neighborhood, move over to fill up that neighborhood, so that's why there's the lakes, there's the trails.
I'm assuming there's not a lot of difference in terms of architecture, considering it's a two-year.
No, it's pretty
Yeah.
uniform,
Yeah,
so.
okay. Sir, if you'd like to give us your presentation.
Okay. Because as I said, the water tool is pretty new and it's built. Most of the house is built in 2017. So I checked the sales books and I found only one house which was in the sales book list. But that house is the size is I think the size is totally different. The sales price is only 360,000. So I look for the neighborhood which is very close to my neighborhood. That is Bridgewater Lakes. So I print all the house in the sales book, and from page 73 to page 83, and I use a yellow mark to show the house which was very close to my house. And you can see the sales book and the yellow mark which shows most of the house which is close to my house. The price is about 450,000. So only 7 house which is the price is a little higher than mine. Also, I have used the green marker to show the house, the size, everything, which is very close to my house. And also, I print out the Winnipeg assessment and taxation property details, which only show the green marks. And during this house, and for all the information, I think my house is pretty higher than the listing price in 2016, April 1st. And another one is the purchase price. I purchased my house on 2016 October. I signed the contract, and the total price is 474,735, and there's no any upgrade. And only one the upgrade is I spent 2,625, and I have moved in on 2017 March 24th. If you see this picture here and the house, the picture here, which shows 2017 February 27th, which is 1 month before my possession day, and the house is everything is still in a mess at that time, and I have to move in almost 1.5 years, and still I didn't get the permit for grading, and so there's no fence, no grass, no deck, and so I think the price cannot be higher than the average price in the marketing now. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Strachan?
I have no questions.
Mr. Buss?
No questions. Chair.
So your possession date was March of 17,
March 24th.
right? And, sorry, you haven't done any upgrades to the property since you purchased it? But you mentioned something about $625?
And the cost of extra, which was not included in the purchase price, but if you see this page here, the cost The net price based on purchase price as per the contract, not including GST, is 472,110. I only upgrade. I spent 2,625 for upgrading. That means I only add 4 lighting, lights in the living room.
So have you done any landscaping on your property since your
No,
possession?
Until now, I haven't received the permit, which that means that because in that area there are 5 houses, and all of them we have moved in 1.5 years, but we still didn't get the permit. Even my neighbor, he didn't finish the stack with it.
Okay, but sorry, you haven't landscaped your property, you haven't put grass in or a
No,
deck
no.
or anything of
I
that
didn't
nature?
receive the permit for grading.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I think I need that next year. I
Okay.
can receive the permit and I can grade.
Okay. And just a question, on the cost of your extras for 2,600, what was that price for? What was the extra?
I think only the carpeting on the second floor, and also the 4 lights have not in the living room. There's on the ceiling there's no lights before. I add 4.
Okay. Oh, and your builder was Qualcomm.
Yeah. And for the, if you see this picture, the quality, the picture shows there's no any upgrading for the external buildings.
Okay. So you're looking, your request would be your purchase price?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Great, thank you very much for
Okay.
coming in, meeting
Thank
with
you.
us. Thank you. And 146 Eagle View.
Five, so I'm gonna use yours and give it back to him. I'm 6, but we need 5. So you get 4. And this is what's on here if we need it.
Please state your full name.
Sid Story.
And you swear that to represent is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
I put Doug's paper down here a little bit. Just 1 second.
Sure, sure.
I'll take the other packages.
Okay. Okay, could you 1, 2, 3, 4 close? And these contracts that probably aren't necessary, so I'll just keep.
Going on to this one?
Yeah, I'm good with that, thanks.
Good morning, Mr. Story.
Good morning.
My apologies, I wasn't trying to,
No
I
problem.
just wanted to keep everything flowing, so.
As I was sitting there, I realized that I'm at a short-term meter and I have to pop out. There's not much parking in the building today.
No, I'm in the
My
same,
apologies for leaving.
no, I'm in the same predicament. I'll have to go and collect now either.
We'll go quickly.
Yeah, Mr.
I'll,
Stratton, if you'd like to proceed.
Yeah, I'll keep this very short, quick as possible. Roll number 0309298046 31 Manapogo Bay. South Point,
Oh, yep, sorry, my fault. Go ahead.
2017 bungalow, just under 1,900 square feet, walkout, basement finish, 3 washrooms, air, fireplace, attached, garage, 1,100 square foot lot on retention pond. The comparables, Bridgewaters, neighborhoods, bungalows, walkouts, bit older, 2009 to 14. Areas 16 to 1,900 square feet. Walkout basements with the lower level development. 3 washrooms, air, fireplaces, attached garage, lot sizes. All of them are smaller, 68 to 8,800 square feet. Time adjusted sale prices, all in the 800, upper 800,000 mark. We have the property assessed for 2019 at 827. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Story, any questions?
Yes, you're acknowledging that the subject property wasn't built in the reference date.
Correct.
And just, this is for follow-up to the chairman's question last hearing. On your comp sheet, the 2 that are on 3 and 4, they're on forest, and they are, I see these are all retention pond influence, correct? And there's a difference, if you want the land information, retention pond adjacent means they're on the retention pond, but there's a public walkway.
Right, yeah, there is a difference, that's why we have the adjacent influence.
And then, I might have it backwards, and then the influence is when there isn't a public walkway or is a public walkway, do you know if
That's when there is, it's, adjacent means right on the lake, yeah.
Yeah,
So
without that public
walkway,
common
yeah,
area.
yeah.
Thank you. And is there any indication in your files that this property was not an arm's length transaction?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And do your records show that the records show what the purchase price was?
The only purchase price that we, unless the sale occurred very, very recently, was the land sale. I'm under the assumption it was custom built.
And you realize the SUP was issued in June of 2018?
Yeah.
And that was the presumed value at April 1st of 2016, correct?
Correct.
And this sold March of 2017, correct?
That I don't have the information for. All I'm aware of is the land sale.
And do you have any permit information with you? I'm interested in the basement finish. Are there any permits that you're aware of on that?
I don't have the plans for it. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Bus?
Yes, just for clarification first. So the subject property is adjacent to the retention pond, so they would have, so there wouldn't be a pathway. Is that
Right.
correct? Or the influence ones could have a pathway, or they could be around, halfway
Yeah,
around the corner.
very
close by. Okay, and in your opinion, is South Point a more prestigious development at Bridgewater Lakes or Bridgewater Forest? They're all the same.
New areas, I find them all the same.
I would agree, they're the same.
Very comparable.
Okay.
Is that?
That's all my questions.
Mr. Strachan, again,
Yes.
you didn't do a
No,
drive-by.
no.
Can you tell me if this property was inspected?
I believe this one was exterior only and done by plans.
By plans, okay. Do you know when that exterior inspection took place?
Would have been over a year ago now, because it probably, I don't have the dates, but would have been a short time prior to the supplementary notice being sent out. I believe,
Okay. Do you know what the 2018 sub was?
like the effective date. The 2018, January 1st, 2018, 827,000.
Okay. Thank you. That's all my questions. Mr. Story?
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
We'll be quick. If we just refer to our brief, the front cover is a picture of the property. It is now landscaped. This is from Google Earth and it's dated, but the property is now landscaped. I refer you to page 2 of the brief. It shows this is the January 1st, 2018 supplementary at 827. There's reference in here to a finished basement, which we'll touch on a little bit later. Mr. Strachan indicated that neither he nor the city had an opportunity to inspect that. And one wonders if that basement, like what constitutes a basement being finished. If we go to the next page, that's the same property again, same picture on page 3. And then here's the good news. We have this 1,800 square foot floor plan is probably the most popular floor plan for walkout basements. So you'll see this get repeated time and time again. The exact same, it's a packaged plan. And what happens in South Point and in Bridgewater is the builders buy or option lots. And then the potential purchaser comes in, chooses his plan, might go to, picks a lot he wants to be on. In some cases, he'll buy it, sometimes it's owned already by the builder. So we have a perfect comp. And this is on page 4 of our brief, and it's comp number 2. It's 26 Stan Bailey Drive. It's in immediate, as a matter of fact, as I recall, Manitoba runs off of it. This is as close as you get. It's also, again, same market region. This one was built in 2014, but actually sold in June of 2015, which is right at 6 months before, almost a year before the reference date. And that sold for $356,020, $356 a square foot, I'm sorry. It sold for $661,905, and there's been a price reduction, a price adjustment. And it's by far the best comparable because it's exactly the same square footage, location, lot size, relative terms of lot size, as the subject. The difference is that this particular property is an Artista display home. And it was offered to the market at $709 and finally was reduced and sold at $661. So we have a sale on an existing property that I suggest to you is far superior to the subject. Why is it far superior? if you've had occasion to go to any of the display, parade of homes in the last number of years, the theater room in Bridgewater for Artista's home was $125,000. It was to look like the MTS Center with the hockey rink. Artista now are doing a combination of gymnasiums and theater rooms. They've made them in their basements. When you buy a display home, you get all that stuff with it. So I'm suggesting it's far superior to the subject. We're looking at two other properties, and this is just because we're trying to come up with something, but there's adjustments needed. The other two are on parks, not on retention ponds. And there's an interesting dynamic because the parks, in some instances, to some buyers, are more attractive than a retention pond, particularly if you've got young kids. And most of the Bridgewater, I'm in Bridgewater extensively, socially, and the majority of the places that go down to Lake have a fence between them and the public area, and then from the public area to the water. So these are adjustments. If you were to look at the, if you go to, we'll just flip some pages here. Comp number 1, 23 Autumnwood, it would be expected, that was never a display home, it was built to suit. Stan Bailey, 26 Stan Bailey, if you go to page, where's my page number, didn't work, page 6. That's the, you can see it's the Artista show home. You can see that it's got some landscaping done, bricks and whatnot. This had a completely finished basement with theater room, etc., etc. And this is the one that sold for started at 709 and then was discounted. And we put a red box around it because that's as close as you can get to a comp. You don't, all you would have to do is adjust out for the finished basement and the treatments you have in a display home. A display home has wall coverings, if you been to an Artista home, they've got almost look like trees and decorations and highly finished because that's how they sell. So they're generally accepted to be far superior. To the best of my knowledge, comp 1, 2, and certainly 3 have never been display homes. If you go to page 8, this is a sub. So it's very important. We have a situation where we have to anticipate what a property would have sold for April 1st of 2016. It wasn't built till almost a year later, but we have to anticipate that. So what happened is the original, this is a SUP, the original land was assessed at $172,000. The owner of that land initially was A&S Homes. It was their land, and they got the contract to build the house because it was their land. The city put through an adjustment of $827,000, and that's increasing the land to add the improvement of $655,000. With due respect to Mr. Strachan and the city, I think they've duplicated the land. If you flip the page, this is the total purchase price, $500,050 for the building, $148,373 for the land, and then GST. And that totals $680,000. Almost the amount that was put through as an adjustment at $656 on the SUP. So this is our engagement is through the Ocheski and Fair, the legal firm did this closing because they suspected there was something wrong with the assessment. So we're suggesting that if you were to look at our comps, page 4, I could come in and say that the comps average out to $325.13. That's a combination of the superior property, which is Stan Bailey, and probably less superior properties because of, on Northern Lights and Autumn View, because they're smaller, so the lot size are smaller and they're on parks as opposed to retention ponds. But Stan Bailey is on like a perfect comp, I believe. So we're suggesting that if you went on an average, it would be $612,000 would be the assessment. What I really think we should be using is what we paid for the property, is that close to the date. So I would ask that the board consider an assessment equal to the $500,000 plus 148 plus 32. I wrote it down somewhere, but it's about $680,000. If you flip back, that is supported by the Artista sale, which has additional finishing that this property didn't have, but it's in line with that sale. So we, rather than using theoretical values, something that didn't exist at the reference date, we know what it costs. This is a cost. There has been, if anything, Mr. Strachan, maybe you can confirm this, there's been a change in Bridgewater and South Point in the last number of years whereby a case could be made that property values in there are not increasing but rather decreasing. And that's because what was initially envisioned for that particular area were homes at 700,000 plus. So it's starting at 700. We now have a combination of things, multi-tenant. We have some, I'm going to call it row housing, but they're beautiful. Luma, so there's a lot of stuff happening in Bridgewater and Southport that they may not see an increase in value. So I think what they actually paid for is reasonable. So I'd ask that the assessment be set at $680,000. I have another document that I can share with you, if you'd like. And this has to do with finishing in the basement. I'll give it to you. What happened is this owner found when he ordered the house, he presumed that the lower level, he didn't buy it with a finished basement. So he presumed that the lower level, the exterior walls would be drywall and whatnot. So he had to get this done. It's another $30,000. So, but if you have a look, what it is, it's drywall and roughed-in plumbing. You can't do much for $30,000 in developing a lower basement. There's a roughed-in plumbing, but it's I don't know, been put in there. So I think that we have a sale very close to the reference date. It's at Orange Lane. We did go to the city website, and in fact, he's explained it, but on the city website, which gives, I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but you can access the property and find out what comps were used by the city to arrive at their assessment. And on this particular, they're all just land only because it's solely right at the reference date. So we have cost. I would ask that we consider using the actual cost. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Strachan, any questions?
So the sale, when did it actually occur?
I think everything was in March of 2017. Here's the lawyer's letter is a request for the money, and it's a date? 2017. February 28th, 2017 was struck.
Is there a title number on there by chance?
Title number, title search, certificate, I don't see it.
Okay. So you're requesting a post-reference sale value be used?
Well, it's an actual. I mean, what we can do is we can look at theoreticals, but we have an actual. And I don't believe, in this instance, a time adjustment be necessary one way or the other. It may very well be a negative time adjustment rather than a positive. So I'm saying that we're so close to the reference date that the cost is identifiable.
Okay, I have no other questions.
Thank you. Mr. Buss?
On your comparables, comparable 1 and 3 don't have the walkout basement, is that
The
correct?
parks. Oh, yeah, they do. Yes, they do, I believe. Hang on. My son did the bridge, he's ready to use that. Yeah, they're all walkout basements.
Well, if you look at the
As you
picture,
know.
it's not so obvious in 23 Autumnwood, but if you look at the picture of Northern Lights, it doesn't seem like it would have a walkout basement there. It's all at grade level with the park right behind.
Well, I'm not sure.
Usually they just have walkout basements when there's the retention pond, because then it gives you the slope essentially.
Yes, but what they're doing now, Mr. Buss, is they're building these with the retaining wall. So what happens is you come out of the, I'm not sure that's the case here, but you come out, if you're built at grade, you come out of your basement and you've got a retention wall with flowers and pool. And what happens, that's very common in South Point and Bridgewater, and people are putting fountains in on that covered retaining wall. So you're coming out below grade, but I believe these would be walkout, maybe Mr. Steffen will say. I think they're all walkout basements. Definitely, the Artista is a walkout basement. See, these houses they're all built, if you look at the square footage, it's almost a stock plan. There's built many of these homes at 1,881 square feet.
That's all my questions. Thanks.
Thank you. So, Mr. Story, you mentioned this property is now landscaped,
Yes,
and do you know how much that costs?
it was in the price, building price. I just mentioned that for the picture. The picture shows it wasn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it is included
It was
in the
in the
price?
price, yeah.
Okay, and this home was built by A&S?
NS.
Yeah. Was it custom built? Or was it according to
Well,
what
yeah, they bought,
A&S is-
here's what happens. A potential purchaser goes to the area,
Right,
they go to the parade of homes, they see a plan they like. And they can go to, they can then get an index of all the builders that have options or purchased lots in there. And most of these major builders would have at least 4 properties plus the one they build the display home on. And they get special preferential treatment either on purchase price or on when they have to pay for their display home if they do that, an option. So this person looked and liked the location, and the lot was owned by A&S. The plans are stock, A&S built it.
okay. So basement is stated that it's finished, and then you gave us.
Yes, I was going to say.
But is this, sorry, this 30,000 from Spartan Builders, so this was, the basement was finished after the home was
After the
completed
home
by
was built.
A&S?
Yeah.
So then, and it was.
But by
30
finished, what they brought up for us to show that
Correct,
there are very different definitions of what finished is.
right. So you're requesting 681, which was priced to purchase,
Just
to
what they
build
paid
the
for it.
home,
Yeah.
but then on top of that would be 30,000 for the basement.
Well, I'm not sure that you would add that to the basement because it's just drywall. It's not finished as years ago there was a great joke in the real estate industry and people would say, do you have a finished basement? The fellow would say, yes, I do, because I'm not doing anything else. But that doesn't dictate what finishes. But Artista Homes, when they do a display home, I would suggest that they probably spend, with all the finishing and everything, $200,000 in the basements. Now, some of that is equipment, because they do TVs. But this wouldn't be finished in terms of what we would typically think finished would be, and the city hasn't inspected it. And I brought this, so $30,000 doesn't go a long way in finishing a basement.
Right. But there's drywall and roughed-in
Yeah,
plumbing
now
and
what
such,
they've
right?
done, when they got the house, they presume when you buy a house, you go down the basement, and there's drywall, and you put in whatever you want. And it turned out these were just had insulation and paper barrier, whatever you call that stuff. And this would have to be rough, plumbing's roughed in. They had additional work done after the house, after they took possession. If you added that all up, it would come to 714, it's 714, 844, which is 500, 148, 32. And I'm not sure that the 34,000 would be valued to anybody else in terms of, maybe for these folks, because they know how they want to configure it down the road. So I'm just saying, we know what they paid for it. There is reference in here that permits will be taken, so that's Mr. Strachan if this helps. They're pretty straight people, so they would have, probably permit.
Okay, thank you. And I believe Mr. Haas has a question.
Have you inspected the property?
No, my son was called to an exam today, so I'm here. I haven't. I typically don't do an appeal without inspecting the property.
Was
I don't do
was he at the
residential.
property?
He went to property,
He went
but
to
just
property.
outside.
Not
Just
inside.
Yeah.
That's all the question.
Mr. Strachan, did you have something further to say?
It was about, it was the same question, if you had brought some pictures of the basement finish.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Does the assessment department have records of, it shows here basement finish on your stuff. Do you know what it's considering for basement finish?
I don't have the square footage. In our system, basement finish, it either says yes or no. Yes could be 80 square foot washer. So,
Thank you. Yes. That's all my questions.
Thank you. Leave it with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
here.
Oh, well, then you have to die, you know. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for coming.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you, Mr. Sturdy.
Bye.
Mr. Strachan, we just have 2 properties and recommendations. That's it.
Yes.
So
You want me to go through them all?
just roll number and the rec.
Address 109 Kowalski Crescent, roll number 01009601375. The 2017 roll assessment recommendation from 498,000 to 450,000. And for the 2018-2019 rolls, recommendation to adjust the assessment from 518,000 to 470,000.
Is that based on market value?
Yes.
Nothing special physically wrong with the property?
No, there's nothing wrong with it, it was just, I had a discussion with the owner and just, wasn't, there's no structural issues.
Okay.
And our other property is, the recommendation is 75 Ramsky.
Yes, roll number 100059761100. Recommendation to reduce the 2019 assessment from 806,000 to 633,000. Thank you.
Again, that's based on market value.
Yes.